So today I'm going to convince you that creating enemies is a surefire way to become magnetic more than being liked for the sake of it. When we think of the most magnetic organizations, for example, cults, there's a lot of people who don't believe in it. And the more people doubt the cult, the more the members become magnetized to the cult itself. For example, you think of Donald Trump, right? The more people disliked him, the more people defended him, even if they didn't like him. In other words, they're like, yo, I know he's a horrible person, but Jesus Christ, Hitler? They were forced to defend him because people just hated him so badly. When you think of the NBA, the moment when the NBA had the most viewers, where one, when Michael Jordan was alive, two, when LeBron James went to the Heat, and during that moment, LeBron James was hated. And because people hated him so much, like I did, I watched LeBron more than any athlete that I've ever loved. And I hate the motherfucker. I wanted him to fail. When you think of the Warriors, when they had a dynasty, most sports actually perform well when there's a dynasty. In other words, when there's one team beating everyone. Why is that? Well, because they piss off everyone. And so when that team is hated by everyone will watch it. When we think of guys like Floyd Mayweather, he was hated, and people only watched him because they wanted to see him lose. He would make sure, he would tell people, I'm 50-0, I'm not gonna win. He would even piss off Mexicans. I swear to God, he even fought, like one time he came into the ring with the Mexican flag on top of him, like as like a Superman stuff. Why do you do that? Well, he did that so that people can get pissed off. And that is the enemy effect. It's not about pissing people off. It's about creating contrast. It's about creating a magnetism that it doesn't just attract, but also repels. And when you're able to do that, people will become more magnetized to you. And I want to show you guys how to do that now. So how do you use this to become more likable? Okay, first of all, if you're somebody that people don't like, one of the easiest ways to do this is attack someone who other people don't like and exaggerate their negative traits. For example, let's just say you're Satan, right? You're Satan right here. Boom, that's you, right? And you as Satan want people to like you more. But then there's this guy named Bob, and people really don't like Bob. So what do you do as Satan? If you want people to like you more, just start attacking Bob. Start exaggerating the negative traits. Start saying how horrible Bob is, how he eats kids. Make Bob look like the second coming of Satan himself. And what's going to happen is that people who hate Bob but hate Satan less, all of a sudden they're going to like you simply because they hate Bob so much. So something you want to do is either one, associate yourself with a cause that people support. So even if people hate you, the fact that someone they hate is supporting a cause that they love because of the hatred they have for you, they'll like you more than someone that they actually like. When you mix hatred with liking, you create almost like a formula of magnetism that people just get more drawn to you. That's why they say if you're controversial, people will be drawn. Fuck that thing. If you're controversial, people will be drawn to you simply because you are a mix of positive emotions and a mix of negative emotions. Another illustration, imagine you're on trial and you're in a small town and you're a relatively normal guy and you're on trial for killing someone. And now let's just say they put you on trial and they have you and they say that you're innocent. You're let free. But now the whole town is talking about you. Some people say you're innocent and some people say that you're guilty. Now, what do you think is going to happen? The people who hate your guts will hate you even more. They'll say, oh my God, he's a horrible person. He killed this person. But then the people who like you, they may not like you, but because they believe you're innocent and they're hearing people be so flagrant about something that they don't believe, they'll end up defending you and fighting your battles for you. Being in the middle of controversy, where you're either right or wrong, and it's kind of like people don't know, will make you magnetic. But the problem that people don't like to be disliked. People who are not comfortable with people not liking them will find this strategy really uncomfortable. But if you think about the most magnetic people, they all have a mix of positive and negative. Everyone dislikes them, but if everyone hates them, the few people that likes that person will be like intense fans of that person. And I prefer to have an army of 100 devoted followers of fighters than to go in with an army of 1,000 flimsy fighters. It's better for few people to truly like you than for everyone to like you. That's just how it is, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is don't be afraid to be yourself. Because in every person, there are qualities and traits that are unlikable. Every person has those traits. And you might think that your negative traits are actually going to repel people. Your negative traits, which some people call your dark side, is what's gravitational. You know, if you only show people your positive traits, this is what you are. A flattened, two-dimensional version of who you are. As soon as you embrace your shadow side, all of a sudden your shadow side becomes contours that gives your personality shape, that gives it roundness, that gives it depth, right? So your dark side is all the things inside of you that you repress. And so what you want to be able to do is find a way to express your dark side. Maybe there's, for example, Malcolm X had a dark side where he was tired of the white devil suppressing his people. Yeah, it's true though, that they were suppressing him, right? And so he expressed that dark desire, that anger, that frustration. And the people in Harlem also felt that frustration, and he became instantly magnetic because of it. You have to understand that negativity mixed with positivity attracts people. Just like the ups and downs of life is what makes life life. If you're only on that's any time where you're only positive or you're only negative, you're repulsive. You're either a fucking asshole or you're a naive person who gets played by everyone. The ones that are charismatic play on the negative. For example, let's look at this phrase, okay? MAGA, right? Let's think about that, right? When people think of MAGA, you have two different people, right? You got MAGA, right? Make America great again, which you imagine, what do you mean great? What do you mean great? You might say, well, you know, I like, when it's all color, say white people, good times, white power, right? So you might think that, go bring it back to the racism. If somebody else reads Make America Great Again, you might think, well, he's talking about being financially making more money, being the number one in the world, making a lot of money, being the number one place where people want to go to. As you can see, that phrase says Make America Great, but it divides. And that's why that phrase is the great, it depends on how you see it, but the most influential, the most talked about political strategy or even phrase that I think I've ever heard of, right? And the reason why is because it's ambiguous. It creates hatred or racism, or it creates unity and happiness, back to it being successful and making money, the good old America. So this causes people to then fight. Like, hey man, MAGA doesn't mean racism. MAGA means financial success. And then somebody else says, man, no it does. It means this, it means this. So what happens is that people who hate him start to really, really hate him. People who like him start to really, really like him. And so you have to be okay with that, because you stop being you. All of a sudden you become a symbol. And this is something that's outside of your control. Once anyone does this, whatever people think of them is not dumb, and you just can't take personal, right? So remember, it's to create this type of effect, don't be afraid to divide people, right? Because if I say Make America Great, depending on your point of view, you're gonna think of two different things. And that division makes me more magnetic. All right, it's honestly really incredible, man. So other ways that people apply this is like, for example, you hate someone so much that you watch them. They call it hate watch, where you piss people off. Like people in politics do this a lot, or even people who who say things just to piss people. Yeah, that is hate watch, or even they call it rage hate, right? Rage baiting, and that works because negativity sells better. But as long as you mix the negativity with positivity, it's a type of pill that people can consume, and actually they become addicted to it, right? And it's very similar to if you want somebody to love you hard, have a part of you that they hate also. It's like a love-hate relationship. And if you think of the most addictive relationships are the ones that are toxic, the love-hate. This is like a toxic relationship with the world, right? For example, me, I'm kind of like that. We're in school. I was either liked a lot, or boy, was I disliked. Jesus Christ, was I disliked. But the friends that were my friends always talked good about me. But the people who didn't like me, Jesus Christ, you would think I fucking took their granny and abducted her. I don't give a fuck, right? But that's the thing. The people who have the most influence are usually the most disliked, but also the most liked, right? So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the enemy effect. Don't be afraid to embrace your dark side. Don't be afraid to get people to hate you. Don't be afraid to say things that are ambiguous enough to have people debate you about it, right? These things will draw people to you. And whatever you do, either in your personality, in the business world, and amongst your friends, the enemy effects works in every direction. It's even with friends. Like I have a friend who's always late, Marvin, and he's always late. And even though he pisses me off, it's like the quirk. It's like the thing that you complain about in a laughing way. You're like, man, fucking Marvin, he's always late, man. All right, what's up, bro? How you doing? Right? The anger, the frustration is not that bad because having things that you could complain about makes you like them more. Because only someone who you like are you willing to verbally express the frustration. You get what I mean? Even things that your friends annoy you by, having things that annoys them, it's not a bad thing. It makes you likable. It's when you die, they'll think of those things. Man, remember when Marvin was late all the time? Shit, man, I can't believe that. That's how it is, man. Even your dogs, your animals, the things that you hate, a lot of the times are the things that you miss. So don't hide who you are. Don't hide your negative flaws. Those are the things that sometimes people love in secret. All right? Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Take care.